Many people nowadays know that global warming is affecting our planet in many major ways, one of which is rising sea levels. However, what people don't know is how drastic rising sea levels are and how much it is affecting us today. In the United States in particular, the city of San Francisco, located in the state of California, as well as many other cities in the Bay Area, are already seeing the effects of rising sea levels. Rising sea levels are caused by the melting of the ice caps due to the global rising temperatures. As the oceans become warmer, the ice on land and in the ocean melts into the sea and creates rising sea levels. It is at a global scale and can rapidly increase as temperatures increase. Its effects can be devastating, and we might not even know it or notice it going on. The California Energy Commission, focusing on the risks of rising sea levels in San Francisco, feels that the population of San Francisco is at risk and can drastically be submerged by the year 2050. This is what a part of San Francisco would look like if it was flooded. The tall buildings are safe from the flooding. However, the lower buildings, such as houses and low infrastructures, are not safe as it can be completely flooded. Once the flooding continues to spread, it can affect hundreds of homes in San Francisco and can even spread to other cities in the Bay Area. The use of ethos and pathos are used by the California Energy Commission to help prove how big of an issue rising sea levels really are. The California Energy Commission references different facts, statistics, and graphs taken from different studies and uses them to help establish the credibility and prove their point. Major comparisons can be seen by this graph in particular, in which it shows how drastically sea levels have risen from 1850 to 2010, as they have risen way above the normal monthly seasonal cycle. The San Francisco Public Press is urging that major San Francisco Bayfront developments are advancing despite sea level rise warnings. On a really bad day in the year 2100, the water level could be 8 feet higher than a normal high tide today. Scientists caution that with climate change expected to accelerate at what is now considered a 100-year flood, with an expected 1% change of temperature happening every year, sea level rise can be at an all-time high by the year 2100. Another factor that can also contribute San Francisco to lose elevation are earthquakes, as earthquakes cause plates to shift land in the ocean and high tides will rise. However, no matter how big of an issue it is, there is no government support towards rising sea levels whatsoever, as many people argue that no action should be taken due to the high expenses it would take to take care of rising sea levels. The City of California is not receiving any government funding at all for this issue. President Trump, who does not believe in climate change, is not providing any funding to Bay Area cities who need it most for rising sea levels. Therefore, it is a city effort to find funds that will be able to help them with rising sea levels, as it is a costly project.
The remedies will be expensive. Investing in levees to keep the shoreline where it is will cost money. It will cost even more to move existing infrastructure away from the bay. And at a time when public funds are drying up, it'll also take political will.
The economic costs are going to be huge. It's going to cost tens of billions of dollars a year to build and maintain protective structures around infrastructure that already exists.
It was on Treasure Island in December of 2009 where Governor Schwarzenegger called on a cash-strapped California to look to the future. If reducing carbon emissions, or Plan A, fails to slow down global warming, he said it's time to start work on Plan B, building infrastructure that would help protect Californians from rising sea levels. Creative minds from around the globe are working on the problem. Recently, the San Francisco Bay Conservation and Development Commission organized a competition looking for innovative solutions to sea level rise in the Bay Area. 130 entries from 18 countries sketched out ideas for a Plan B. All of this has its place, says Peter Glick, but it would be a mistake to forget about Plan A.
If we don't get our act together, if we don't do things to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, we're going to reach a meter of sea level rise or more by the end of the century, and it's going to be growing even faster than it is now.
We should prepare ourselves for rising sea levels, as many people fear that many cities in the Bay Area are in danger. the San Francisco Bay and many cities in the Bay Area will endure sea level rise and/or land sinking. San Mateo and Palo Alto, for example, will both experience sea level rise and land sinking. However, the city of Santa Clara will experience only sea level rise with very few minimal areas that have land sinking. These aren't the only cities that are affected or will be affected due to rising sea levels. Cities as far as San Jose can also be affected, even with very few minimal effects. The San Francisco Bay Conservation and Development Commission, or BCDC, are developing a plan to deal with rising sea levels and want to enhance the San Francisco Bay's unique contributions to the Bay Area and enable all its communities to flourish. The BCDC encourages and implements bay habitat restoration programs that align with the Baylands Ecosystem Habitat Goal Science Update and the San Francisco Bay Subtidal Habitat Goals Report. Using the best science available, we can understand emerging trends in habitat connectivity among streams, watersheds, and bay habitats. This can determine a more efficient process for restoration projects. It can also help restore any wetlands that have possibly been damaged as of today. According to the California Energy Commission, San Francisco infrastructure such as transportation are at risk from rising sea levels. California's transportation infrastructure is vulnerable to flooding under current conditions, and those risks will be greater in the future due to sea level rise. Under current conditions, it is estimated that 800 miles of roadways and nearly 70 miles of railways along the San Francisco Bay are at risk of a 100-year flood event. In some cases, damages will be minor, resulting in temporary closures and modest repairs. Eventually, roads and railways may need to be raised or rerouted. The closure of these roads and railways may also have significant impacts on local, state, and national economy. For example, the shipment of goods to and from California ports, as they can also cause road closures and can prevent people from getting to work. The BCDC is developing an updated plan of action to deal with rising sea levels. They want to develop an education campaign to increase the public's understanding of rising sea level vulnerabilities and resilience programs. They are partnering with public information programs and developing resilience strategies to get the word out to the public. By using a wide range of communication tools such as social media, they are able to inform a broad audience, such as a worldwide one, and informing them on the risks of rising sea levels and how dangerous they can be. Now that we can see how big of an issue rising sea levels are, we must perform a plan of action in order to deal with them. We must be prepared for when they arrive, and we must invest money so that our cities could be able to build new infrastructures that can withhold rising sea levels. We also want to develop new ways in which we can inform the public of rising sea levels and their effects. Remember that this is a big issue going on today, and it won't go away unless we make a change.